Cool Tune is here, and is it top tier? Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are taking a look at Cool Tune with its full support, which is quite surprising. Not full support. We are missing a very important card that is currently why this deck is dominating in the OCG, Phydraulis. Phydraulis Harmonious is one of the craziest hand traps of all time for synchro style decks, which means that not having access to it does significantly hinder this deck. Notably, it's also a tuner, which is funny. That being said, the rest of this archetype is here. It's pretty strong. We're going to take a look at it real quick. First and foremost, we should talk about what the deck aims to do. It aims to synchro summon a whole bunch on the opponent's turn, utilizing solely tuners. It locks you into tuners often and quickly, and allows you to utilize only tuners in order to go into most of the synchro monsters. All of the synchro monsters have various different effects and can be summoned using tuners. On top of that, they utilize tuners in hand for a lot of their synchro summons. All of the main deck monsters have the ability to, if they would be used as synchro material, can use one other tuner in your hand. And that's any tuner. So you can even use a lot of the other hand traps like Veilers and Ghost Bells and Ashes in your hand as material. It's pretty solid, and it works very well. As for the rest of the cards here, they're just, again, the tuner hand traps, or our actual names. That's pretty much it. We're going to go quickly through the card by card. Starting off with Rotary. Rotary is an extra normal summon. We're playing 3 of this. We're also playing 3 Recco, which on summon allows you to search out a non-level 3. Then we also have Q, which on normal summon specifically, special summons one guy from a deck, a tuner of any variety. You could also potentially be playing Red Nova as well, but the reason we are not playing this, I can't type. Holy crap. The reason we're not playing Red Nova is because it just doesn't really make any sense to play at this point. The reason we would previously play it is because it would allow you to go from Q into the Trackmaker and then into Recco. However, you don't have to do that anymore because we have Rotary. Rotary also kind of does the same thing because now you can summon Mix, grab a Rotary, and then use the Rotary in hand as the material for the Trackmaker. So we just cut the Red Nova. Just keep that in mind. Then we are also playing it to a piece of Clip and Mix. Clip can special summon itself in order to immediately synchro summon during the opponent's main phase, specifically the opponent's main phase, which is pretty solid. And then on top of that, we have Mix, which allows you to on summon add a non-level 2 from deck or grave to your hand. And then also, all of these have the same effect, not the same effect, an effect in the grave when they are used as synchro material. Rotary does 2 things. It can either place a card from your opponent's grave onto the bottom of their deck, or look at the opponent's hand and add a Cool Tune spell trap from it. Most of the time you're using the second effect. Mix can pop a monster. Recco, can pop a spell trap. Clip has the ability to randomly banish a face down extra deck monster. And then we have Q, which can look at the top 2 cards, banishing one of them, and then either placing the other one on the top or the bottom of the deck. That is generally what you are going to be utilizing your extra deck monsters for, is to trigger a lot of these effects, right? This is where a lot of the disruption comes from. As for the rest of the monsters, again, just a lot of tuner hand traps. That's what they're called. Things like Veiler, the Psyframes, Delta, and Gamma, Maxi, Ash Blossom, Ghost Bell, that's it. Sorry, and Ghost Ogre. We're also playing, of course, Driver, and then we have 3 apiece of Infip. Then we also have access to Synchro Overtake, which says reveal a synchro monster, and then if a named monster is on that one, you can add that or special summon it from your deck. So we have a few targets here. We can use RS to search Recco, we have Remix to search Mix, and we even have Crackle to search Clip. So there's a lot of ways to either search or special summon any of those names. Notably, we can't get Q nor Rotary, but that's fine. We also, of course, have other Cool Tune spells. We are playing 3 Cool Tune Synchro, which twice per turn allows you to search and then synchro summon a monster. Very useful. And we have Cool Tune, or JJ Cool Tune, which allows you an extra normal summon and contribute a tuner to add to your hand or special summon a Cool Tune monster from your deck. So, all in all, lots of ways to get additional access to your guys once you even get just one of them. It's very powerful. And that is pretty much it for the deck. We're also playing Called By, I forgot to mention that. As for the extra deck, we have a lot of Cool Tune monsters. Cool Tune Trackmaker on summon allows you to add a Cool Tune card. Remix allows you to during the opponent's turn, tribute it to choose a non-tuner, or a non-synchro tuner in your grave, choosing 2 of them, adding 1 to the hand, and special summoning the other, and then synchro summoning a tuner. Notably, a lot of the ways to synchro summon do not require you to use that monster as synchro material. So as long as you have the material, either in hand or on field, you can generally use it, which is pretty nice. On top of that, we are playing RS, which is the Omni Negate. Now, notably, this one doesn't have the effect like all of the other ones, or more specifically, Trackmaker and all of the main deck monsters, to utilize a card in hand as synchro material with it. So both Remix and RS don't have that effect. Then we have Crackle as well. Oh, sorry, this is just an Omni Negate. Target a card, negate it by banishing a tuner during the main phase. It's pretty solid. Crackle, on summon, looks at the extra deck, banishes a card from it. If it's sent to the graveyard, it brings itself back and then does the same thing again, except 1 more. So you banish 2, so you can banish a total of 3 cards from the face-up extra deck. It's okay. I don't think it's all that great, because just most of the time, ripping a card from the extra deck doesn't do anything, but it could matter, so there's that. Then we have Loudness War, which is a fairly decent card, just requires your 2 tuners, but you can actually banish in response to a monster activation, or an activation of an effect. You can banish in order to trigger one of the effects of your monsters as they are sent to the graveyard for synchro material. So, for example, you could banish Mix to pop a card, pop a monster, Recco to pop a spell trap, Clip to banish a random card from the extra, etc. That's the idea with that guy. We also have a few other cards in here, things like Omega, Excel Stardust, and Baron are in here for the Gammas. For the Psyframes. We also have the Kewl Tune back-to-back. It's technically supposed to be back-to-back, which is a pretty solid card. It allows you to attack twice. It's very large, and on top of that, it also gives you the ability to, if your opponent activates a monster effect, add back a tuner or special summon it, and then you can synchro as well. Notably, this one synchros a synchro monster, not a tuner. Most of the other ones specifically summon a tuner synchro monster. So this one could actually make Baron or something else of that nature. And then we have the new Zaylin, which says, okay, let me explain this real quick. This is a very complicated card, but basically it negates the chain link, not the chain link. It negates the one of the last 2 cards in a chain link. So if there's 4 cards in a chain link, right? Let's say Lucius, Malulu, Phimena, Arthalion, right? In that order, you could negate the Phimena or the Arthalion, but you negate it with the opposite of the number that it says. So the first effect would be this effect, the 4th or the last in the chain, and the second effect would be the previous effect in the chain. And the reason for this is because of the way that it's worded. It's responding to the response of a card. So basically, the responding card, the card that is responding to the other card's effect, is the first effect. So the Chainlink 2, or the most recent Chainlink, is the first effect. And then the next one, the one after that, is the second effect. So, for example, one of the things that you can do is you can go, your opponent activates an effect, you can go Kewl Tune Remix, chain the effect to summon back and add back to the hand, and then chain Zaylin, Z, in order to negate the first activated effect. However, you would have to choose the second effect negation. Got it? I'll show it in-game, but hopefully that made sense. We're also playing Typhon and SP Little Knight. That's it for the deck. Let's hop into the replays and show you how this deck performs. Alrighty, so here we are going first, and we have a pretty stellar hand. So, first things first, we're going to normal summon the Q, activate its effect, grab Mix. Mix is going to grab the Recco, and now we can utilize the Rotary to summon the Recco. Recco grabs up the Clip, and now we can Synchro Summon. We're going to go into the Trackmaker. Trackmaker effect is going to be Chainlink 1. We're going to go Chainlink 2 Rotary, and then we are going to go Chainlink 3 Q. The reason for this, and the way that we are chaining it, is so that we can guarantee that we get the Rotary and the Trackmaker, and then we just look at the top of the deck. Theoretically, it could be more useful to look at the top of the deck and stack the opponent's deck in a way that would punish the cards in hand, but for the most part, I don't think that is too necessary. Anyway, we're going to banish. We're going to look at the hand and then draw or search a card. I don't remember what was in hand, but it's fine. Here we're going to go for the extra normal. I believe it's just, yeah, the extra normal here. For the Ash Blossom, tribute it off, and then grab the clip. We also have the Cool Tune Synchro. Now, the reason I stopped here, obviously I could have done more. They have Nibiru in hand, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty certain they do. They're going to go for the Fualas, which they drew off the top. I'm actually going to Ash Blossom that. That is very important. That we do not let resolve, because if it does, we will die. I'm not going to lie, I don't think they had Nibiru. I don't think this was the one with Nibiru. I could be wrong. I did see Nibiru a few times. Anyway, it's fine. I remember why we stopped here. We have a bunch of different ways to Synchro Summon on the opponent's turn, and I want to use all of these guys as disruption. So that was the idea there. We're going to go for the Veiler on the Noir. This is just, I don't know, it's an okay Veiler. Anyway. So, out comes the Yokel. Yokel effect is going to grab the Lupus and special summon it. And now we can activate the clip. We're going to Synchro Summon here, utilizing the 2 cards on field. As you saw, I didn't have to use the clip there, even though I used its effect to Synchro Summon. So, keep that in mind. But yeah, we now get to activate the Track Maker, which when sent to the graveyard as Synchro Material, returns a card, and we get to activate the Mix. So, we're going to pop the Yokel, and then we are going to bounce at the Noir, and they just have a Lupus left on their field. At this point, my opponent just concedes, seeing the writing on the wall. Yeah, I think they didn't really have anything else. The other card that they had was the... Mad Love. They had Mad Love in their hand, and Mad Love would have been significantly better there, simply due to the fact that it would have given them access to the Vanquishal half of their deck, and I think they did just need that in general. Though, to be fair, it didn't really matter. I had a way to deal with every single card there. And that's where the hand knowledge comes in, right? You get to actually pick and choose what you do against your opponent. Alrighty, so here we are going second, and yeah, this is generally how Cool Tune works. Going second, you just want to draw 4 hand traps and a 1-card starter, and guess what? That is exactly what we did. So, cool. They're gonna go for the Synchro Overtake, and then be met by Ghost Bell and pass the turn. Okay, cool. We draw Ghost Ogre, pretty cool. We're gonna go for the Rico here. They're gonna Ghost Bell, sure. Then they are also going to... Oh, no. Sorry, they don't do anything here. We go for the Track Maker. Activate the Track Maker effect. We grab the Cool Tune Synchro in. Droll. That's fine. We're going to go for the Cool Tune Synchro. Activate its effect in order to grab up the Q. And then we can Synchro as well into Zalen, which is pretty good. We're just going to go to combat here. I actually did make a mistake here because we do have... No. I didn't have another normal summon. This was the correct play. So they're going to go for the Mix here. And I just Ghost Bell them. They're going to go for the Synchro Overtake. I Ash Blossom them, and then they concede. That's generally how it goes. Yeah, you just hand trap them. You just prevent them from playing the game. You can kind of do stuff, but for the most part, that's how it goes, going second. Okay, this duel is a great example as to why we should ban cards. Outcome Shifter. Cool, that card's a 1-of. Guess what? Outcomes Perulia. Cool, I can't play into that. We literally just pass the turn. I just have to hope and pray that they don't have anything and that this Ash Blossom kind of carries me. I'm like, we have a really good follow-up, but I really do need my Grave. It's Kashira. Okay, well, at least they're starting with Ogre. Potentially, they don't have anything. We'll see what we can do. Out comes the Tier Cache. They're going to activate that effect, banishing their trap that they just searched, and then go for the Tier Cache, banishing 3 of my cards, and then going to combat. Okay, cool. They're going to reveal a whole bunch of cards here. They take the Cool Tune Synchro, because of course, and then just hit me for a whole bunch of damage. Ow. Lots of damage. I'm at 29 already. You'll love to see it. They're going to go for... another card that should be banned, but alas, is not. They're gonna go for the Galaxy Tomahawk here. Now, to be fair, they're still under Shifter, so I don't know what necessarily we're going to accomplish. Oh, we're making a Towers. Because, of course, we are. Yeah, 5k Arrival Cybers at Ignister. Now, here's the thing. There's a reason I'm showing you this duel. This duel, not just because of like, oh, hey, look at these banned cards, or cards that should be banned. This duel is going to show you the extent as to which Cool Tune can do things. My opponent just has a 5,000 attack point, Arrival Cybers. That's it. They have nothing else. Let's see what we can accomplish here. We do have a fairly decent hand. We draw another Ash. Hilarious. Doesn't matter. We're going to start off here with a JJ Cool Tune, and then we're going to go for the Rotary in order to normal summon the Rekko. Rekko effect is going to grab Clip here, and then we are going to Synchro Summon into the Track Maker. Now, how do we out this guy? Let me explain. There's a card that I didn't give you the full effects of. The Omni Negate, RS Cool Tune, or Cool Tune RS, which I believe is like red synchro or something of that nature. Anyway, the point is, this has an effect that says gains 300 attack for each tuner in the graves. So, with 12 tuners in grave, we have the ability to walk over this guy. We need at least 12, right? So, that is our goal. They had a Fuwa loss in hand, by the way. So our goal is to get 12 tuners into grave. So, how are we going to accomplish this? Well, we're going to go for the Q. We're going to summon out the mix. Mix is going to search. Then we're going to go for the remix here. And then we're going to synchro off into BB Cool Tune. Back-to-back Cool Tune. Notably, this does require multiple synchro monsters, but only requires one tuner. So you can use a tuner in your hand, but it does require multiple synchros. Keep that in mind. It came up occasionally where this guy would have been nice to summon, but you just can't. Now, BB Cool Tune has some pretty solid effects. Notably, it has the ability to let tuners attack twice. That's the most important part here. And it gets us additional cards into grave, which is great. We're going to go for the Cool Tune Synchro, and it'll go for the Crackle. We're going to go and trigger a whole bunch of effects, banishing cards from the extra deck and stacking the top of the deck. I allow them to grab the cross out, which is kind of funny. Now we go for the Tribute in order to summon Mix here, and now we can eventually go for RS, which is fantastic. Notably, Crackle brought itself back as well and banished 2 more cards. Guess what? Here's all of the cards that we banished from our effects. Hilarious. So, then we just normal summon, since we hadn't normal summoned up until that point. That was our normal, if I'm not mistaken. And now we can go into the Zalen, which gives us a 5,600 attack point Cool Tune RS. We can go to combat, walk over, add a Ganister, walk in for 56, walk in for 32. There you go. Pretty cool. Sorry. Alrighty, we're back with the deck, and honestly, this deck is, it's okay. It's pretty good. The thing is, this deck in the OCG currently is dominating due to, one, the format's significantly weaker in the OCG. A lot of the top decks that we are seeing now are some of the strongest decks in Yu-Gi-Oh's history, obviously, but notably are also at near full power. So, in the OCG, that's not the case, right? Mitsu is like the only other deck that is keeping up, but even that deck has significant hits to it. So other than Mitsu, pretty much all of the other top decks are not really present. Like Yummy's not present, Vanquish Soul Canine's not present, I don't think Draco Tail's present. So again, other than those, there's not lots of competition for a Cool Tune. But the other most notable thing is Vidralis. Vidralis is one of the craziest cards for this deck in particular, because it gives you access to a whole bunch of extra deck monsters that you won't necessarily need to summon, but notably give you a whole bunch of effects with the Vidralis, which is great. It just makes Vidralis one of the craziest hand traps, being able to send things like Malong to bounce cards, the pack bit to like put cards into the back row, and stuff of that nature, allowing you just more and more interactions with just a single card. So, Cool Tune having access to that makes it significantly stronger. And without Vidralis, we don't really have a whole ton of great hand traps. We have some decent ones, right? Gamma, the Maxis, etc. Pretty strong, but overall, the deck is significantly lacking when it comes to everything around it. Not having Vidralis, not having, having a harder metagame overall does make it significantly weaker than it is in the OCG. And even with that, the OCG, it's still not the definitive, like, clear-cut best deck. It's like one of 5 or 6 very playable decks. So, there's that. I would probably put this around, like, Radiant Typhoon in that area, right? It's very competitive, but I still think the other 4 top decks of Draco Tail, Vanquish Soul, Canine, Yummy, and Mitsu Raizel are better than it, stronger than it, and while this can compete, it is inconsistent and doesn't really have the ability to play into established boards nearly as effectively. It really heavily relies on stopping boards, and with the power level of a lot of extenders and stuff like that, it's not great right now at stopping boards from being made. So all in all, it's a good deck. It's fun when it gets to be able to play all of the Cool Tune stuff and do a lot of the Cool Tune lines. It does a lot of really cool things, but there's a lot of games that are just kind of like auto win because, hey, I drew 2 hand traps into the 1 card starter deck. So, happens. Overall, though, yeah, those are my thoughts. I don't know what else to say. I don't have anything else. It's a fine deck. It works. It's something. But it's also just kind of underpowered right now with the power level. So, it probably will continue to rise in playability as more ban lists and more limitations come to some of those other top decks. But at the moment, it's not insane. If you like the play style of being able to sync for someone on the opponent's turn, of a bunch of hand traps and playing like a lot of, it's not really a linear deck. It does a bunch of different options, right, depending on what the opponent does. So it's not exactly a simple like do the combo and then interact with your opponent. It does require some nuance in like what you have in hand and what you don't, etc. So if you like that, give it a shot. But that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much so appreciated. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.